Anthony Preston was a model in our first store. We had a fashion show. And he modeled this jacket. I made him bring it today. And, but Anthony was given, a few months ago, he was given the opportunity to toss this jacket because it's got some tears in it and it's a little worn. And I said, "Do you want to toss this?" And he said, "When you're in foster care, you don't get very much. So you want to hang on to what you have." And so he still holds on to this jacket 7 years later. It's in his closet, and I love that. But let me just say that about Anthony, you know, it takes courage not to get discouraged. And this young man has so much courage, and he's a true leader, and he has a story to tell today. And part of the reason why I thought it was important for him to come back, because many of you have said, "Whatever happened to Anthony?" Right? What's going on with that young man? And I'm just so proud. And what I want to say, too, is, you know, we've been involved with his life for the last 7 years. So ever since we met him, we fell in love with him, and we fall in love with all of our kids, but for some reason, we just kept connecting, right? Every year, I said, "Write your Christmas list out." And our board member, Cheryl, and we'd go meet him for lunch. His favorite place is Red Robin. So we would meet him, but we've been in his life, and he's always been so appreciative for what we've been able to do for him. And I want to just say to him today, in front of all of you, it's you who have blessed us. And the opportunity to be involved in your life, because you are just an amazing young man. So please welcome Anthony Preston to the stage.
Hi, everyone. Like Rhonda said, my name is Anthony Preston, and spoiler alert, I'm a police officer for the city of McMinnville. Okay. Thank you. So before we get started today, I kind of wanted to throw a little disclaimer out there. I get the honor of getting to tell my story to you guys. Now, the reason I'm telling you my story isn't to make you feel bad for me. It isn't so that you guys will feel sad and guilty, and then you'll want to give a lot to Project Lemonade. Now, don't get me wrong. I want you to give a lot to Project Lemonade, but not for that reason. I wanted to tell you my story so you can see where I started from to where I'm at today, and how the amazing organization that is Project Lemonade has got me to this point. Okay? To start, I want to take you guys all the way back to the beginning. I was placed in the foster care system at 7 years old. I was taken from my family and placed in a home with people I didn't know. I stayed in the system from the age of 7 until I aged out at 21. Now, the first couple years of being in foster care, I actually moved from home to home. I moved from place to place, lived with different families. And nothing against those families, because they're all great. They open their homes to me. But when you're the one constantly moving and you're going from place to place, you can't help but get this negative way of thinking about yourself. You can't think, you can't help but think, well, I'm the one moving, so maybe I'm the common denominator here. Maybe I'm the problem, or maybe I'm not worth it. Now, my story's a little bit different. I was a little bit luckier than some. From 7th grade to my senior year, I actually got to stay in the same foster home. And that was amazing. I lived in this foster home with as many as 4 different brothers at the same time. But throughout my time there's probably 50 of us that went in and out of that house. Now, each person leaving for different reasons, whether it was going back home to their families, running away, and sadly, a lot of the times it was getting put in jail. Now, when I was there and I had all those brothers, there's one of them that when I think back that I remember the most. I remember him because I was the closest to him. His name was Shiloh Hampton. Shiloh came into my life when I was 13, or he was 13, I was 14, and immediately we just kind of hit it off. It's also really hard to forget he was a massive individual. As a 13-year-old, he was like 6 foot, 200 pounds. Like, I don't think they make them like that anymore, but also, that's like 2 of me, so I was like, whoa, okay. No, but Shiloh and I, we connected on a different level. We liked the same things. We liked to go to the same places. and we liked to spend all our time together. In fact, we were so close that we became best friends, and eventually we became brothers. When we told people, like when we met people, we told them like, hey, this is my brother. We didn't put the foster in front of it because we told them we're closer than that. And it was funny because we actually acted so similarly that people would look at us and be like, yeah, I can see the family resemblance. You know, we would just smile and laugh. We wouldn't correct them because we knew that having the same blood wouldn't have made us any closer than we were. So having Shiloh with me it gave me a sense of family. It gave me a sense of being able to be a big brother, which I felt was stripped from me when I was taken out of my home and placed in the foster care system. When I look back at all the fun times Shiloh and I had together, I remember that the biggest thing we had in common was that we both like to consider ourselves the most stylish guys in the room, no matter where we went. And as I said before, we did everything together, so we spent a lot of time in the same room. So you can imagine there was a little bit of tension there, but we made it through, okay? Now, as I got older, I started to realize that that way of thinking wasn't unique to me. It wasn't even unique to Shiloh or unique to foster kids in general. Kids all over the place, all they want to do is fit in. We want to be liked. We want the coolest clothes. We want to, be accepted by our peers. The issue is that when you're in the foster care system, you don't have the money to get those things. Like Rhonda mentioned, we had clothing vouchers, but those vouchers only went so far, and we did what we could with them. But then when those went away, we had nothing. We didn't have anything or any way to get these clothes. And on top of that, there's a stigma that follows you around as a foster kid that when you tell people, and I guarantee you can ask any other foster youth in the room, that when you tell people that you were in the foster care system, you get one of these two answers, like, oh, I'm sorry you're in the foster care system. I didn't know that. Or sometimes, you walk into school and somebody will whisper, oh, look, there's that foster kid. And because of that, you start to feel starved for acceptance, and you want to be accepted so bad that you're willing to just take any group that comes along. And unfortunately, a lot of these groups that are going to give you acceptance aren't always the best people for you. Oh. See, in fact, this is exactly what happened to my brother Shiloh. Shiloh found himself hanging out with this group of people who weren't necessarily the best influence for him. And one day, he got suspended from high school, and he decided he was going to go to the library. I don't know what high school it's going to go to the library when they get suspended from school. But so he decided he wasn't going to go to the library. He wanted to go hang out with this group of friends at Holiday Park. For those of you who don't know, Holiday Park is right across the street from the Lloyd Center, which, as we learned, is right across the street from the Project Lemonade store. Well, while hanging out at this park with these people, Shiloh found himself in the middle of a gang-related shooting. I didn't know that getting off that bus that morning when I went to school and said bye to my brother, that was going to be the last time that I got to see him. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about him and try to live my life in the best way that I can to make him proud. And sadly, this is all too often the reality of being in the foster care system. And not everybody's story is the same because we're all different. But I guarantee you talk to any of the foster youth in this room or really across the state, and you'll hear a story with a lot of loss. And once again, that loss pushes you to want to be accepted more and more. And to be honest, wanting that acceptance can also, oftentimes lead to compromising life choices. In my life, honestly, I'm not that different. I'm also a foster kid. And I could have easily turned out that same way. It could have turned out that way for me. But I think there's a few reasons why it didn't, and one of those reasons is Project Lemonade. See, Project Lemonade has supported me since it's been around. I remember the first day that I walked into the Project Lemonade store when we were down in the Pearl District, I felt so welcomed, and actually I felt more than welcome. I felt wanted there. Everybody was excited to see me. Everybody was happy, and they gave me more than just clothes. They gave me confidence, and gaining this confidence, I got to a point where I was able to walk into a room and think, yes, I am worth it. Now, Project Lemonade, their support for me has actually changed throughout the years because I've changed, and they've supported me in all these different ways. It was more than just the store. They supported me when I went to college. I got the chance to attend Western Oregon University, where I got a chance to build so many relationships, so many friendships, and Project Lemonade was there to support me every way possible. I needed a new laptop, got it for me. I needed furniture for my dorm, got it for me. I needed a job in the summer. Project Lemonade was right there. And a lot of times, I didn't know how to thank them. I didn't know how to repay them. But now I'm proud to say that I'm part of that 2% of foster youth that graduated college. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. Kind of putting my degree to use, so I like it. Right? Well, my time at Western, it helped me grow, and it really gave me confidence to actually get into this career. Earlier, I mentioned that there's a stigma that follows you around as a foster youth. And unfortunately, that stigma doesn't actually leave you when you become an adult, because being a foster youth was part of my story. And it's something that I have to work to overcome every single day to prove that I am more than just a statistic, and I'm more than society says that I am, because as foster youth, we're worth more than people think we are. As I graduated college, Project Lemonade actually took on a different role again, and they invited me to come onto the board. This was such an amazing opportunity. It was an honor to be able to help give back to the organization that gave so much to me. I got to meet more people, and I got to spend a lot of time looking at the business side of what it looks like to run a nonprofit organization. And once again, my confidence continued to build. And then, after that, they supported me in the rigorous process that it is to actually apply to be a police officer. All right? While I was applying to be a police officer, my situation that I was living in kind of fell through. And I kid you not, Rhonda did not bat an eye when I told her, I was like, hey, I don't have a place to live. And working her Rhonda magic, she almost immediately found me a place to live. And I cannot thank her enough for letting me commandeer her basement for 4 months. After the year-long application process, I got hired on with the McMinnville Police Department. Then, this last summer, in June, I got to marry the love of my life, Alicia, who's sitting right over there at that table. I've now been working in the city of McMinnville for 15 months. I get to live and do life with the same community that I get to serve, which is such an honor. I'm loving my career because I get to advocate for others, for people, youth, adults alike, and I get to help keep them safe. My long-term goal is to become the best police officer that I can be, and along the way, if I get a chance to be a school resource officer, to work in a high school so that I can help support youth and build their confidence just like Project Lemonade has done for me, it'd just be the icing on the cake. Now, I want to take you back to what I said at the beginning. I told you my story, not so that you can feel bad, not so that you'll feel sad for me, but so that you get to understand that how Project Lemonade had entered into my life and became my family and helped me get to where I'm at here today. From the clothes that they bought me or got me, and the belonging they gave me, to giving me a community of safety and hope, and to standing by me through every big moment in my life. This is something they've done for not just me, but thousands of foster kids across the state. And if they could, I'm sure it'd be the nation. Project Lemonade is more than just clothes. Project Lemonade is an organization that fosters hope in foster youth. They help you create a chance to dream big, and they help you change the world. Now, Project Lemonade has rallied around a part of our population that is often overlooked, and I think it's time for us to rally around Project Lemonade so that we can help them in their goal of inspiring us foster youth to change the world. Now, right now, I'm asking you, please, today, can you give to this organization that has given so much to me and so much to these thousands of foster youth across the nation? or across the state so that we can go out and be world changers. Thank you.